So OnePlus has announced the follow-up to its OnePlus Nord, cunningly called the OnePlus Nord 2, and it's quite a different beast, especially when it comes to the CPU. We're expecting it to win against the predecessor, but the question is by how much? Well, let's find out. So we have the OnePlus Nord 2 on the left-hand side with the Dimensity 1200. On the right-hand side, we have the original Nord with the Snapdragon 765G. So we've a change here from the Qualcomm Snapdragon over to the MediaTek Dimensity 1200. And the Dimensity 1200 is looking on paper to be a fairly impressive chip. Certainly going to be faster than the Snapdragon 765G, but by how much? We'll talk more about that in a minute. But already we can see a lead is being built up by the Nord 2. It's already into the 16-thread test, while the Nord is still in the compression test. In fact, the Nord 2 is almost going to finish that 16-thread test. Will it finish it before the other one? Yes, look at that. It's already into the blur test, which is the beginning of the mixed CPU-GPU part of this test. Now, of course, it's a question of whether the GPUs is going to be a significant factor. In the Dimensity 1200, we've got the Mali G77, and in the Nord, original Nord, the Snapdragon 765G, we have the Adreno 620. What's the frame rate there on the left-hand side? 28 frames a second on the left-hand side. That's interesting as we now go into the first of the 3D tests, as the original Nord is only now going into the blur test, the beginning of the mixed CPU-GPU part of the test. So a significant lead being built up by the Nord 2, and it looks like the GPU is doing this okay. It doesn't look like it's going to stutter at all, meaning that it's not going to lose out to the Nord in any way whatsoever. It's now into that final test, as now the Nord is into the smoke particle test. On the right-hand side, what's the frame rate going to be? It was 28 on the left-hand side, 19 frames a second. There we go, it's finished the test, 1 minute 27.2. So there we go, 1 minute 27.2, while we're waiting now for the Nord to finish. So what is the difference between these two? Of course, the Dimensity 1200's got 4 Cortex A78 cores, one of them clocked as high as 3 GHz, and then 4 Cortex A55 cores, whereas the Snapdragon 765G has got 2 Cortex A76 cores, so it's 2 generations behind, only 2 of them, and 6 Cortex A55 cores. And then, as I said, the Adreno 620 compared to the Mali G77, as it's now going into the Unreal test, the last test. So clearly that 4+4 setup, very different to a 2+6 setup, means that the Dimensity 1200 is significantly better powered, and it looks like it's done well in the GPU as well. We'll look at the final times there when we get the Nord finishing the test now. So definitely a huge upgrade from the Nord to the Nord 2. Certainly a big difference there. What's the final time going to be? Here we go. It's coming out now any second now. What's it going to be? 221.3. Okay, let's break down the scores and see exactly what happened there. So as we saw there, a significant win by the OnePlus Nord 2, a big upgrade over the OnePlus Nord, 1 minute 27.2 compared to 2 minutes 21.3. That's almost a minute different, not quite, 54.1 seconds different there. So that's a huge upgrade. So what happened? Well, if you look at the CPU, 34.5 versus 57.5, that's a difference of 23 seconds in favor of the newer device. Absolutely amazing. When we get to the mixed CPU GPU, we saw a difference in the frame rates there as well, and it's 20 seconds compared to 30 seconds, both of them there on the nose, and of course that's a difference of 10 seconds. And what happened in the GPU? Was there a big difference? Well, there was, but it's actually in favor of the Nord 2 with the Mali GPU, 32.6 versus 53.8, a difference of 21.2 seconds. So a significant win in CPU, mixed and GPU for the new Nord 2. So it's the overall winner, 1 minute 27.2. My name is Gary Sims, this is SpeedTest. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you like these kind of videos, why not stick around by subscribing to the channel? Okay, that's it. I'll see you in the next one.